Hello everyone, how's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's resume our complete beginner's guide to desktop dungeons. Rewind, shall we? So we completed the kind of first, you're thrown into the maw of madness, baptism by fire tutorial, and now we're going to do a more scripted, friendly, basic tutorial. So we need to click on this sign right here, and let's do this. Greetings, adventurer. You're in the legendary depths of the lost Tutorial Wan Dungeon. Tutorial Wan Dungeon, one of the many seemingly random cave networks left behind by the Old Kingdom. Nobody knows what they're here for, but everyone agrees that they're awesome. When you're done reading this, just click on visible ground to move and explore. Gotcha. Click to move. Alright. So, they want us to move into this kind of blue flamey square where they're showing us, and we'll do that. And we'll do that, and it says, to your right stands a typical desktop dungeon monster. You'll find that combat in this game is surprisingly detailed, nuanced, and flexible. For now, however, you should just click on the baddie until it dies. Click to attack. Okay, so here's a level 1 dude. We've already talked about how in the upper right, you can see the goblin's portrait, and that it's going to take 5 damage from my attack and be dead in 2 turns. It does 3 damage to us, so we will go down in health, but we will win the day. It has first strike, so it is hitting us first. Ouch. That fight took a chunk of your health. You'll notice this on the red health bar in your character panel up here. Reveal some new terrain by exploring, and you'll steadily recover health. Backtracking doesn't count. Sorry, reveal to heal. And that is an important tip. Like, even if I go back, I'm not going to get any health. It has to be on these kind of unexplored astral tiles. And there we go. So we got 3 health for this, and 3 tiles explored gives you 3 health. So we're at full health. So let's keep going. And now the tutorial is just kind of showing you that you can step diagonally through these passes. And again, when we get to assign bad guy, meat men, copyright infringement, likely. Enemy level 2. In compliance with regulations set out by the Tutorial 1 Dungeon Labeling Committee, we've stapled a giant 2 onto the next creature to show you how gosh darn tough he is. But I'm only level 1. And, you know, we could read the signpost, which we already did, and if we hit this guy, you'll see that he smacks us really hard. And it says, whoa, wait. That monster is higher level than you. If you keep fighting, you will lose the battle. No worries, though. You can safely explore the other passage. Monsters won't attack or follow you if you leave them alone. And this is teaching you the very important skill, again, reifying this, that even if you move through a square adjacent to an enemy, as long as you don't click to attack, it will not attack you. And they won't follow you, so he's going to stay here. Now, you'll notice, too, that if you mouse over an enemy. Now, I'm not going to attack it because it's going to go bad for us. We can't actually attack it. The tutorial won't let us. You'll see how many turns it'll take to kill you. And if you see that you don't last as many turns as it would take you to kill it, or it stomps off before it dies, that's a good indication that you're not going to survive. So let's go down here and explore. And I'm going to just right-click away to cancel that. If you happen to have injured any creatures, our state-of-the-art foe regeneration tracker will keep track of their health for you. Be wary, though. They heal just as easily as you do. So this is important to remember, which is that if you do decide to get your health back by stepping around on the tiles, which you're going to do all the time in this, if you don't finish off an enemy, it too will regenerate. It's fine, you know, it's just what it is, but it's important to keep this in the back of your mind. And so what I always like to try to do is, like, not start a fight until I know that I can defeat it in one go. Sometimes you can use regeneration to your advantage and let them get some health back and still take them down, but generally it's a better practice to not let them recover if you can avoid it. And this says, okay, adventurer, the Tutorial 1 Fair Play Committee has decided to put these enemies here in interest of your sustained enjoyment and survival. Destroy them at your leisure. Okay, so we say, have at you. and we can step. And let's just fight this guy. Now, you'll notice when I mouse over, this bandit, he's going to do 2 damage to me, and I'm going to do my 5 damage to him. Remember, you can look in the upper left at your character panel for Cleave and McPeel, and you can see that, we're level 1, we have 10 health, 10 mana, we're doing 5 damage per turn, we have 0 money, and 0 conversion. So if you look at our experience, we'll get 1 experience for killing this guy because he's level 1, as indicated by the green level 1, or in the upper right you can see level 1 star by him. And we attack, he hits us first, and we hit him. And again, we have recovered our health by uncovering a tile. We'll just knock this guy out. These are all the same bandit, and they're here intentionally for us to level up. This guy, you see if I mouse over him and work on attacking him, if we kill this guy right here, you can find more useful information by right-clicking on a target enemy to manually select it. The side panel will populate itself with available actions, and you'll be able to view status effects in more detail. So, right-click. So if I do right-click this guy, great. Check the right side of your screen. You'll see buttons to interact with this bandit and can move the mouse over any status effects it might have. Don't worry, they're interesting but harmless right now. I see. So you can go over here now and see he's a bandit. And if we are to kill him, we will get 1 experience. And you can't, if you have them right-clicked, remember you don't get the mouse over effect until you put your mouse over the attack button to see what the outcome will be. Now he's magic immune, but I don't have any spells, so that doesn't matter. He gets first strike, which does matter, but we will recover all of our health when we kill him, so it doesn't really matter. And then he has mana burn to burn our mana, but again, that will recover when we level up. So we just click this guy. He's going to do 2 damage to us first, and then we kill him. Great, you've earned enough experience to level up. You've been fully healed, and your stats have improved, making it far easier to take on annoyances like the level 2 Meat Man. Level up. Now, how did our stats improve? Well, look, we got double the health. Okay, we went from 10 to 20. We also, our star says level 2, and we need 10 experience to get level 3. And then our damage went up from 5 to 10. So, fantastic. We're much stronger. Now, you can see a bunch of other enemies, hidden away, but we can't reach them. There's lava. So we need to go back and fight this guy, who we couldn't defeat before. But now when I mouse over this guy, you'll see that we'll kill him in 1, 2, 3 rounds. And our health in 3 rounds will go down to where it says the yellow number 3 on our health bar. And he does 4 damage a round, so he's going to take us to 8 health. We hit him, he hits us, and boom. I am immortal. You're a certified badass now. You should go find something else to kill. I'm not immortal, but it's fun. Alright, and ye gads, it's a goat. To get out of here, brave adventurer. Take the side passage before it eats your soul. You do well to heed this advice. The numbers show that this enemy is simply too strong for you. Move past the goat. It won't attack unless you attack it first. Oh, look at the time. So I'm actually going to jump over here and avoid this goat. Here, here, and here. Haha, just kidding. This is a dead end. You're going to die. We hope you enjoyed your tutorial 1 tour. We'd offer feedback forms, but you'll be dead and stuff. Desktop Dungeons is a hard game. Expect to die a lot until you become more experienced. Attack the goat and accept your defeat. This will complete the first tutorial. But it's just a goat. The Galt's laughing snicker. So we need to go fight it. And you can see that it does 15 damage and I have 20 health. So I die in 2 turns. And it would take me 10 turns of my 10 damage, obviously, to chip away. But you'll notice how the number 1 on his health bar is yellow, meaning like I will get to do that. And you see how the numbers following number 1 are all gray because I won't get to do that. I will be dead. So we can hit it and try to hit it again, but it hits us and bam, we're a pile of blood and goo. Disgusting. But that's what happens when you pick a fight with a goat. And it says in the upper right, death. Your adventure has met an inconveniently early end. Okay. And we completed the tutorial. Of the people who escaped the initial attack on the camp, many perished in the deadly underground dungeons. Others pressed on, their determination to survive outweighing the odds. The odds being goats, indeed. Alright. So, now that we've done that, they want us to click on Tutorial 2, which is easy. A fresh new adventurer inside a fresh new dungeon. Here's hoping that this brave explorer is more fortunate than the last. Let's get straight to business by attacking the warlock. No goats? So we're now Magnus of Albion, and we're another guard, and they want us to go over here and fight this warlock. Now this warlock, you could see he only has 6 health, he does 4 damage, and he has a magical attack. So we'll hit him, and we'll hit him. We almost died, but we got him. Not too shabby, but it'd be great to improve your odds against these foes somehow. Try searching the dungeon for power-ups. Games like these always have them. I bet they're coming, and this tutorial is a lot of fun. It has a good sense of humor. The whole game does. I'm going to step here. Warning, attack power-ups ahead. Use only in cases of extreme emergency and or damage dissatisfaction. There we go. And by the way, you want to use all of these every time you see them. So we're going to pick up an attack power-up, and you see our damage has not increased yet because that was 10%, but now when we step on this, we're now doing 20% bonus, which is enough to give us 6 damage per turn. When you walk over an attack power-up, it permanently increases your damage by 10%. If you're lucky enough to find one, grab it as soon as possible. Sweet, more damage. Let's go down here, and there's this warlock, and now you'll see they have 6 hit points. So we're actually going to kill this in 1 turn. It still hits us, but we kill it faster. You become decidedly more effective in combat. Note how it only took you a single strike to fell that opponent as opposed to 2 previously. Efficient. Now, this was a good tip that was given to me on the YouTube comments about turn ordering. You can look this up in the game or look this up on online, but I believe in terms of who attacks when, if you are equal level to the monster and neither of you have first strike or are slowed, then the monster will hit you first and then you will attack. If you are higher level than the monster and nobody is slowed or first strike, then you attack first and then it attacks you. And if the monster is higher level, it gets to attack first. Now, being first strike or slowed changes that. So if the enemy is first strike, even if I'm higher level, it's going to attack me first. If I'm first strike, I should get to go first unless they're first strike. And then the original order of operations proceeds. And then if they're slowed or I'm slowed, whoever's slowed usually goes last unless both are slowed. So it might seem like, it's a random roll, but it's not, as far as I understand it. And we're going to go down here. Standard Adventure Constitution Boosters for heroes who want to be more constituent. Is this more health? It sure is. So here's some more health right here, and you see we're getting +1 max health. How power-ups operate in the same way attacks power-ups do, but increase your maximum health instead of your damage. Note that they won't actually heal you, so don't just leave them lying around. Feels constituent, right. So if there weren't mapped to explore to heal us, they would raise your maximum but not raise your floor to compensate. Alright, here comes a difficult goo blob. Now if I right click on this guy, you'll see he has physical resist 50%, which means he resists 50% of my physical damage, which is all I'm doing right now. So if I attack this guy, if you haven't done so already, take a look at the enemy area at the top right of the screen. It offers a lot of valuable information, including enemy stats and combat strike predictions. You'll end up looking here a lot once you become more familiar with the game systems. Looking top right. Alright, so you'll see we killed this guy. He's not slow, I'm not slow. He's level 1, I'm level 1. So he's going to attack me first, and I'll hit him back, as the order of operations. Alright, and we go over here. Arcane Amplifiers, useful for spellcasting and alliterative endeavors. I bet this is mana. It is. And it's more. Mana power-ups increase your maximum mana by 1. This is particularly valuable because mana doesn't increase your character level. We'll cover spellcasting and mana use a little later. Yep, bonus mana. Alright. So I could step down here, but oh my gosh, it's another goat who's level 5. Oh, for the love of Torog, another goat? No, this is rubbish. You need to find another way out of the dungeon. Ignore the goat and follow the side passage. Ah, goat. All right, let's go over here. And let's check out this question mark. And there's a little champ. Now this is more like it. You've just discovered a dungeon exit. Retiring early isn't the most glorious way to end a session, but sometimes it's your only choice unless you count impaled by killer goat as a viable option. So we can escape. So what they're teaching us about now is when you find this camp, you can bail. And if I zoom out, you can see there's nothing else to this dungeon. I'll never be able to beat this with what I have, so let's just go ahead and click retire. And we're done. And we completed the tutorial. Congratulations on your dungeon survival. I was also involved in that dreadful caravan attack, but managed to avoid harm by hiding in my obscure documents closet. Your experiences have made one thing clear to the rest of the survivors. If there's to be any hope for us, we need to band together in a base of operations. We need a kingdom. And this winking gnome dude, with you in charge? To make this anything more than a lowly adventuring band's dream, you'll need to secure funds for development. Your survival and experience have inspired hope in the members of this camp, and they've voted to put you in charge. It's time to gather the rabble and loot some dungeons. So they want me to be in charge, which is not the responsibility I was hoping for, but let's go for it. Delegated looting, I like it. As our newly elected kingdom administrator, I think you could do with a little help from a professional advice mongerer such as myself. Why don't I help you along with this whole securing our immediate future thing? So I always like to choose finger crossbows because it's hilarious to me. Are you ready to send someone on their next adventure? To select a dungeon and we'll get to filling out your hero's permit form. So now what's going on in the game is that it's opening up a bit. You're on rails for a while as they explain all of the mechanics because you need to learn how to play the game. And then this kind of kingdom screen is going to show you when you get to build up the different areas, unlock new classes, capabilities, and it just gets way more fun as you get further into it. So let's just dive into Tutorial 3. And it says, this dungeon will introduce you to spellcasting and glyph conversion. So they do a really nice job in this game of guiding you into the process of decision making and game mechanics with tutorials. And I'm just going to try to keep working through these and explaining so that everything is crystal clear. Great. Just confirm your selection here. It's a legal requirement of our selection confirmation committee. This big giant button in the bottom right. You got to click select. And then you come to this screen, which is the adventure screen, and it says, now let's go about recruiting your next dungeon hero. You'll need to select two things, kin and class. For now, just choose the human because, well, nobody else is around yet. So you'll see that there's all these different kins, which are kind of like species or whatever that you can start as. But we only have one unlocked. And as the game goes further, you'll unlock more kin and more classes. So I'll click on human, and it tells you on the right that it says that humans get 10% attack bonus for every 100 conversion points, which we'll look at more in the tutorial. And then class, we can be a guard. A wise and excellent non-decision, mighty administrator. Now select the guard, indeed. Got it. And it says your new hero has been bureaucratically cleared. Have them sally forth by hitting the play button. So once you've committed your kin and class, there's going to be more options later, but now this is all we've got. And I mean more options being beyond even just kin and class. And then once you've confirmed everything, you just click the play button. We dive into a new, awesome-looking dungeon. And we just jump down here and read a sign. It says, welcome, hero, to the legendary Dungeon of Hidden Treasures. While exploring, why not help yourself to a complimentary glyph of fiery doom? Don't mind if I do. So, we'll step on the glyph. And this is called Bunderaz, and we already looked at this in the first tutorial, but now we're going to get even more explanation. Congratulations, you just found your first spell glyph. These ancient and potent artifacts allow you to channel your magical essence into a variety of tasks. In this case, clicking on things and making them go boom. Click on the pickup button that's appeared in the side panel. and the glyph will move into your inventory. You may also press spacebar on your keyboard or double-click on the item in the dungeon view. Mine soon, so I actually like to just click spacebar, and we pick it up, and we step down, and it says it's time to put your newly discovered magic skills to the test. Click on the spell glyph in your inventory, then click on the target. Not only does it make a satisfying explosion, but casting spells won't let enemies retaliate. And this is the real key to them, is that it gives you a chance to damage them without retribution unless they have a specific ability. So we just click glyph, click target. So you can do this, like I explained, by clicking the glyph right here, and then your cursor turns into this fireball or whatever spell you have selected, and you can then just click on the goo blob and blow him up. Now, he has physical resist, but he does not like magic. Now, we step down here, and we have enough magic to do this again, but I'm going to show you, just remind you of another keyboard thing. These are actions or glyphs or whatever you have in the bottom panel are mapped to the number keys, so you can actually just click 1 on your keyboard instead of clicking this with left click, and then your mouse will automatically turn to this. And if you click 1 again, then it turns off. Push 1, and then you can left click on that guy and blow him up. If you're running out of mana, explore the dungeon to regenerate. This works similarly to health regeneration. Explore to regenerate? Indeed. And you see if I step here, okay, I uncover 3 tiles. Each tile gives me 1 mana. And we got 7 mana, which is just enough to cast this. Passage not open to standard tour. Please do not enter, particularly if you're the type who would readily steal lots and lots of gold. Hey, that's me. A welcome detour. So we're going to just push 1 and use our fireball again. Crispy. As you level up, your spell damage will increase. It usually won't hit as hard as a regular attack, but the fact that enemies can't hit you back is a major plus. Great balls of fire, indeed. All right, we'll step here. And we'll step here. Now it actually wants us to go down. So if you see a spiral staircase or any kind of passageway, it'll tell you on the right you're on a passage, and it'll have this option for you need to click the big purple button that says go to move down the steps. And now we're in kind of secret treasure room. I'm going to use WASD to move the camera. And look, there's a big pile of money. Let's just pick up all the gold. And it says, uh-oh, it sounds like the treasure room was a trap. You hear something big and heavy sliding into place from the dungeon above. That's worrying. It is worrying. So I'm just going to click on the steps, and you immediately fly over here, and we just click go to move back up the steps. And yes, the dungeon has changed. The way out has now been blocked, and the passageway, the only way we can go forward, leads into an enemy. It says, this creature is blocking your exit and seems to be immune to magic. Your spell glyph won't be of much use here, so why not convert it? Conversion is a neat way to recycle any unwanted inventory items. Click and hold your mouse button over the glyph, then drag it to the conversion icon in the bottom left corner of the screen, as it's demonstrating graphically for us. So we say buy fireball. Now the reason you would do this is, of course, if I mouse over this guy, you'll see that the golem is magic immune, so he can't get hurt by our spell. And you'll see that he does 7 damage, and we do 10. He has exactly enough health, 21, to survive 3 of our attacks, and we have exactly enough health to be killed by 3 of his attacks. He'll do 21 damage over 3 times. We need 3 turns to do 30 damage, but remember, this enemy is the same level as us. Neither of us have first strike or slow, so that means the order of operations are that he will get to attack us first, so he'll kill us before that we can kill him. So we need to cut down the number of turns that it's going to take us to kill him. So in a situation like this, and in the game, you're going to have to make decisions where you sacrifice a spell to finish off a foe, potentially. And this is just all part of the puzzle and decision-making. So if I do sacrifice this, if I mouse over Burn Duraz, you could see that it gives me 100 conversion points, and because I'm a human, every 100 conversion points gives me a 10% damage bonus. So you can see I'm doing 10 damage, but if I just pick this up and drag it over and then let it go on the conversion, it says, now I do 11 damage because I get a 10% boost. Great stuff. Doing this to items fills up your conversion bar. Once full, your character gains a stat boost. 1 glyph is usually enough to fill the bar. In this case, converting should have given you enough extra attack power to deal with the golem. Defeat it and leave the dungeon with your hard-won cash. Attack time. So indeed, now if I mouse over him, you'll see that it's only going to take me 2 turns because I'm doing 11 per turn, and that is the edge that I need to defeat this guy. So we'll left-click him, he takes us down, but then we kill him, and we move through, and I'm just going to move the camera up with W key, and you can, of course, zoom out if you like, but I like to have it kind of zoomed in. And then we click on the camp, and we're done. That's the exit. Retire. Boom. Tutorial 3 complete. Excellent direction of our efforts, bold administrator. The bounty from that dungeon can now be put to good use. If your fledgling kingdom is to survive beyond its first few weeks, it will need a reliable and well-trained force of heroes to keep the terrors of this land at bay. Couldn't have done it without you. You're too kind. Your new position gives you responsibility over our collected funds and efforts. This represents the resources we've managed to scrounge together so far. Is that all? So in the bottom right, and now my little picture is going to cover this up, but you'll see I have 150 gold, and if you're at this point, that's exactly how much you'll have too. Your current task is ensuring our survival, so I recommend investing our limited funds in training and arming some real defenders. Click on the outpost over here. So this is what I was talking about before. We're going to get buildings in our kingdom, and eventually we'll be able to zoom out as the kingdom expands, and these different facilities will help us upgrade and have new options to choose from. So if I click on the outpost, it's a guild. It says your first building upgrade. It all has to begin somewhere. If we upgrade this with all of our money, it says upgrade this structure by clicking on the helpfully labeled button here. This will allow us to start recruiting our first available hero type, the fighter. So I click it, and you can see the building's graphic changes. It looks more impressive. Upgrade complete. Kingdom Administrator, remember this moment well, for you have just taken your first tentative steps down a long and glorious path. Under your guidance, we'll build a kingdom to challenge the gods themselves. Too early for a statue? Admirable clicking and spending, noble administrator, you've just unlocked the fighter class. These hardy warriors are superior to common guards in several ways. They excel at hunting down opponents and gaining experience quickly. Well, that's great. So what this means is we've replaced guards with fighters, and they're just better than guards. So this is good. Good. So we've unlocked a new class called the Fighter. We just click to continue. And we've also unlocked a new quest called Trophy Hunting. Administrator, our scouts have discovered a monster lair in the surrounding area. It's time to take the fight to them. Let's have our heroes earn their keep. They can return when they have some monster heads and/or souvenirs of victory. Bring me loot. And then we need a new character. Well, that sounds like an interesting prospect. Oh, sorry for butting in. We'll chat later. And this guy is just a totally normal-looking dude, and also a very trustworthy-looking guy that we're going to get to deal with soon. Who was that? All right. So in this way, I mean to say Desktop Dungeons plays like Darkest Dungeon, and it's a roguelite. Yes, it's permadeath. When you die, you have to start to run over, but we're going to make progression through the game like in Darkest Dungeon, where we have the hamlet, or in this case our kingdom, and we slowly use money that we get to upgrade this to give us a better chance to win, and it's really fun. So I'm going to click on Tutorial 4, which is easy, and it says it'll introduce you to inventory management and boss trophies, and it satisfies the quest Trophy Hunting, or it's for the quest Trophy Hunting. So when you're ready to go, you just click Select. And now we're going to go to the adventure screen again. We select human, which is the only kin that we've got. And now you'll see that guard has been replaced by fighter. And what's the difference? Well, it has instincts, which means it allows you to see enemies further away in the fog. It's a veteran, which means it gains experience when attacked by higher level enemies and less experience needed per level. Okay, so that's great. So when we get hit by higher level enemies, we're going to gain experience, and we get less experience. We need less experience to level up. And we're a pit dog, which means dungeon runs start with 1 level of standard death protection on this character. So we'll see what that means in a moment. I'll click on this, and we'll say play. Here it is, your hour of triumph. Your goal in this dungeon is simple. Find the boss, slay it, and leave the dungeon with its horns as proof of your deed. Not only will you prove yourself ready to move on from these annoying tutorials, but you'll become the new kingdom's first celebrated hero. I'm above puns. No. Yes, I am. Okay. So look in the upper left, and you'll see that my picture has changed because now I'm Maxine Jones and I'm a human fighter. Now, death protection means like if I were to die, instead of dying, I sit at 1 hit point. And you can use this to your advantage to win a fight you otherwise wouldn't be able to, and then take it, kind of combo that with veteran. So let's move over here and look at this. Aha! You're treated to the welcome sight of a Burnderaz glyph. Add it to your inventory in the same way you did the last time. Use that pickup button, and we say got it, or spacebar to pick it up. Move over here, and ooh, look at this. Just like glyphs, items such as weapons and armor can be added to your inventory. Most items will be considered in use as soon as you pick them up. There's no need to specifically equip them. Grab the sword and check the improvement to your damage rating. Okay, so you don't really have a paper doll in this game. It just, if it's in your inventory, you've got it. So it says equip on pickup. Cool. So if I push spacebar to pick this up, you'll notice that this has given me a mouse over it plus 2 damage. So now I'm doing 7 damage. It also, if you look at this takes 5 bag space, this takes 5 bag space. So I'm at 10 out of 30 in terms of how much I can carry. We step over the shield. It says keep picking up items as you find them, and note how they start filling up your inventory space. So you could call it bag space, inventory space. Differently sized items will eat up space accordingly. No inventory Tetris? Indeed, you don't have to do that like in Diablo, and so I'm going to pick space to pick this up. This baby gives us minus 2 damage taken, which is great. We've stepped over a pendant of health, and before you pick it up, you can look in the upper right to see what it does. It's just going to give us 10 extra hit points at the cost of 5 bag space. I'll pick it up. And now we've got a pendant of mana. You can convert items on the ground using the convert button instead of putting them in your inventory first, but beware, conversion is an irreversible process and you'll never get the items back. Convert what's not needed. Right, so what this means is if I didn't have enough inventory space to pick up an item, I can just convert it from the ground. So that's useful, but I do have enough space, and I want to pick this up. I want the extra mana, because that means I'll be able to use Burnderaz twice. So I'll pick it up, and we'll go over here, and we have a health potion. Now it says potions are a special kind of stackable item that take up far less space than most other items. Having lots of them is always nice. Potions stack. Neat. So you can see this health potion takes up 1 bag space if I pick it up. So you see I go to 26. But then if I go over here and pick up another, it stacks. And you can see in the lower right of the potion on the bottom of the action bar or the inventory bar, I have 2. And it's not taking up more space. So now I have 3. And I'm going to move on through. The dreaded goat waits for you at the end of this corridor. No hints and no hand-holding. Using a combination of your item's spells and skills, see if you can defeat it and take its horn. Why is it always goats? Bleed? Good goat? Alright, so let's zoom out, and we need to go find stuff to kill, but there is nothing. It's just this goat. So we have to beat this goat with what we've got. Alright, so let's step in. Let's mouse over this goat and see what we're getting into. This is a 3rd level goat. This goat does 12 damage per turn. It's higher level than us, so it's going to attack us. First, it also has 25% magic resistance, which means it's going to take, only 75% of the damage from our spell. But even given that, we still want to fireball it because we have nothing else to do with our spell points. So I'm going to fireball it, okay? And normally, on 1st level, this would do 5, but check out its health, okay? It is at 23, and you see that we only did 3 because of the magic resistance. I'm going to fireball it again, and it's burning 2, okay? So you can right-click and see it takes additional magic damage when attacked, so that's favorable. And if I want to attack this guy, you'll see that I'm actually going to take it to 8 health. So I'm doing 7 damage, which would normally take it to 10. But because it's burning 2, I'm actually doing a little bit more damage than normal. So we can attack this guy. It will not kill us. It'll take us to 10. Because of our shield. Our shield is mitigating the incoming damage by 2. It's minus 2 damage coming in. So if I hit this guy, alright, boom, boom, he's almost dead. But he has 1 health left. Let's repeat what we did before. I'm just going to take Burn Duraz and I'm going to convert it because I can't use magic anymore. You can't take a glyph out of the dungeon and keep it, so you might as well convert it. And now if I mouse over and push attack, we're still not quite at enough because 10% isn't enough of a bonus. We need 20% to get +1. So what do I want to do? Well, I could convert my Pendant of Mana and my Pendant of Health. That's 70 conversion, but not quite enough, right? So instead, let's use a health potion, but we don't need to yet because it won't kill us. So let's just attack. Now we're going to die if I try to attack it because it'll attack first. See the skull on the upper left. So what do we have to use? Well, we have health potions. Now, health potions only restore 40% of our health. You can see in the upper left, it's going to take us up to 9 health. We would need to use 2 of these to survive. We could, if we wanted to, convert a bunch of stuff to do extra damage, but even then, it still attacks us first. So let's use this, all right? And let's push attack. You see we still die. So let's use another potion, and now when I push attack, the skull is on him, and we survive. There was really actually no need to convert my spell right there. I just did it to show you that it's something you can consider, but that 10%, the way this game rounds down, I believe, so it didn't actually give us an extra damage. So we're going to attack, and we win. Well done, hero. The goat has dropped a trophy for you to claim. Grabbing a monster trophy ends the dungeon session, but you can hang around as long as you want before taking it. It is a lovely place. No, we want to leave. We're going to step on it, and we're just going to click exit. Okay, if you can't push spacebar to pick this up, you just click exit on top of the goat horn, and you will pick it up. And now, quest complete. Trophy hunting. Victory! Your hero parades through the muddy streets of your rapidly growing settlement, goat horn clasped in on one mailed fist. Rose petals and jubilant shouts alike fill the air as townsfolk come out to celebrate. Amidst the glee, a lone figure approaches you as you recline in your administrator's parade viewing chair. New throne, who dares? Hi there, it's this guy again. I can't help but notice the sheer amount of fun that you're all having with that chunk of monster skull. I happen to have a business proposal related to that. I'm listening. This may seem rather forward, but I was once a renowned taxidermist in the surrounding realms, and I know a lot of very rich buyers who would love a mounted beastie head of some kind hanging over their fireplace. Bragging rights, see? Why do I care? Long story short, I'd like to buy that trophy from you. I've got the gold right here. How much gold? This new kingdom needs some kind of regular income, right? Well, work with me and we can build an entire economy around hunting and slaying evil. I'm pretty sure that this will turn into a long and mutually profitable relationship. Just keep the gold coming, dude. So we sold this trophy and we got 150 gold. Bam! How about that? So now we've unlocked a new quest called Guild Expansion. There's more than one way to slay the average dungeon monstrosity, and the kingdom's population is one of diverse talents and interests. Magic users, holy men, and even common cut purses are interested in fighting the good fight, especially if there's money involved. How do we recruit them? Monster trophies are a valuable source of kingdom income. Let's put that money to use by building ourselves a second guild. Our options are: upgrading this structure will give you priests. They're reliable slayers of the undead with impressive health buffs. Holy folk. Upgrading this structure will give you wizards. They start off with a free fireball. Lower mana costs and other abilities make their glyph much easier to use. So, free fireball means like you just start with the glyph Burn Duraz. Not that it costs 0 mana. But it's great because you just get the fireball right from the very beginning. Upgrading this structure will give you thieves. They excel at squeezing extra value out of dungeon resources and deal a little extra damage to unsuspecting opponents. Hide the silver. Select a building to upgrade now. Okay, so in this sense, you get to pick which you want. All right. Now, I love wizards, so I'm just going to pick that, but pick whichever you want. Very soon, you're going to have all of these, okay? So I'm going to start with the Mage Tower, and I'm going to say upgrade, and we've got it. We've unlocked the Wizard, and we've completed Guild Expansion. And now, there's a new quest called City Expansion. Our brave new kingdom is still in grave peril. The denizens of nearby dungeons are breathing down our necks. If a brave hero wanders in and slays the leaders in each area, the rest should be demoralized enough to scatter. Attack! Again. Most autonomous and independently thinking administrator, I believe you've learned enough to start performing kingdom duties in whichever way you see most fit. I'll still be on hand to advise you when new matters come up, but from here on, you may consider your decisions and opportunities somewhat more, quote, open. Have fun. And we give him the old finger crossbows. So now the game is, like I said, taking off the rails, opening up. Our kingdom is expanding. I have 37 gold, and I have 3 dungeons to go to. 1,000 Cuts, the Badlands, and Vince's Vault. And I have the Fighter and the Wizard to choose from. So this is a great place to end this second episode of our Complete Beginner's Guide. We'll keep going. I'll show you all of the classes that we can get so far and keep describing game mechanics and giving you tips, strategies, and helping you to get into this awesome game. It really does improve once you grasp the fundamentals and get further into it and have more options. I hope you're still finding this series to be useful. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.